baby, you got what I need. But you say I'm just a friend. You say I'm just a friend. 'Cause I can't be your fantasy.
They're hugging. Huggies! A glance up at the clock for KSI, who's certainly starting to feel some fatigue now here. That would be very good. Keep clinching, Chad. Taking my hand to where he's taking it every single time. Yo, look at this little nigga in the back. Yo, the nigga in the back got me crying, bro. I don't know. I think it's 2-2. I think it's 2-2 with Olivia.
I think it's just he's going to put pressure on Tom because that's why I got the pressure against the Jalen Spar, and I guarantee now, 2 rounds, KSI is going to come out and knock him out.
So you think KSI is going to knock him out in the next 2 rounds?
I still believe KSI will knock him out. KSI is using his pressure in sparring. I'm seeing this man. He's going to come back stronger. He's just getting warmed.
Give me 2, Stabby.
That's what interesting. Remember, you're still in with the chance. Everyone on the watch party to win the KSI size up. Keep voting in the polls. Keep commenting. We've got 2 rounds left. Win and go. Those final 2 rounds. We'll see. Make sure you join the QR code. Scan the QR code and join the watch party.
Come on. All right, round 5. And I think KSI needs to win at least one of these 2. That's. What? Let's go! What's the matter? Let's go.
Everyone's continuing to be like, how did they do that?
What the hell are we watching?
Empty as life is 10.
Say stop talking. Oh my God.
It's all in the chat. Look at everyone here.
What to do tonight?
because
Yeah.
we've never done a headlining solo show, but I'll get back to you in a few weeks when we
What's
when
your
we
guess? You can guess.
Our hope is somewhere between 900 and 1,000. Those are like the cap.
Oh,
the
dude,
cap,
you're
the
gonna
cap rooms
crush
we're
that.
looking at. Well,
do.
hey,
No,
you
'cause
know, it's
here's
like
the thing. So I mean, technically, you could, like, who knows? You could sell out a 5,000 venue. Like, you never know. But in the touring world, you have to like build a proof of purchase first. So like, you can't just go from zero to booking a massive venue. You have to start at this venue, and then your booking agent can negotiate this venue. A month, I'll be like the happiest person in the world. And I don't know if you guys know how it works, but it's roughly, there's a lot of variables, but on average, 1 million streams is around $4,000 USD
on Spotify
on Spotify. And we're averaging like 60 million streams a month right now.
across our
So
catalog.
things are
yeah.
just pretty crazy. And I don't think most people know that there's that potential, because in music, you hear there's no money in streaming. But I'm like, that's because labels own 80% of your songs. But if you own your songs, there's a shit ton of money in streaming. And I kind of want to just bring awareness to that.
Yeah.
Well, what was like all right, so you guys were just doing your thing, and then there was that pop moment. What was the first month of sales on the pop, like when the first video really worked out?
There's a 3-month delay in accounting. So whatever you get from like January, February, March, you get it in April. And I remember that pop moment got us our first 6-figure month.
Yeah.
And we lost our minds.
What were you making per month before that? Like, was it like kind of under $1,000 to over 100,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that Globe series really, like, if I showed you the chart of my Spotify for artists, you see my daily streams were here, and then it just explodes like way up.
What's really cool is that a lot of people have a big moment and then they slow down, they get comfortable. But the second we had that big moment, I'm like, we're pulling all-nighters. We're going harder than we've ever gone. So you can see the chart, it goes up and it stays up, which is like the beauty of it, because we didn't stop. Like, I literally remember our baby was sleeping. He was 4 months old during the Globe series. And we would take turns pulling all-nighters. Connor would be editing the videos, go in, give him a bottle, keep editing. It was crazy. We were on crack. I don't know how we did it. But
Last night when I was watching all the videos, I thought Connor is a genius. And then now I realized that Brianna's a genius, actually. And actually,
Yeah,
Connor, you could just go
absolutely.
get a drink of water. I just have 1,000 questions for this. Is so amazing. So you really did Cristiano. I'm curious, just for relationship point of view, how did y'all meet, and when did you meet? And like at the time, was it like, I'm gonna be a rapper, and you're like, you got it, honey, go for it?
no, we were 10 and 11 years old.
Okay.
We lived in the same apartment complex.
Yeah, when I was telling you earlier, when I did that movie Cinderella Man, the first time I went to LA for that premiere, after that I started staying in LA for a few months every year for auditions and stuff like that, and we would stay at this apartment complex called the Oakwoods apartment, which was kind of infamous for having like a lot of child actors stay there. And Brianna's little sister Chloe used to act, and so her family and my family lived at that apartment complex at the same time. And I was 10 and she was 11, and that's when we first met.
Yeah, and we stayed friends. We swapped AIM addresses.
Oh, nice.
And
And then like it's just a cool story because you were supporting him. I imagine. I don't know what the life of an actor is like, but you were supporting him, and then now you guys are a team. I mean, that's
honestly,
just like
it's like flip-flopped, because his acting was much more lucrative than you think. Like when we first got married, he was on a series called X Company. He did 3 seasons of that, and he was a lead on that, and it does pay quite well. I don't know if I'm like contractually even allowed to say, so I won't. But at the time, he was more supporting me, and then I was working, and I was a nanny at the time, so I wasn't like bringing in like huge amounts of money. And then I did the pet company stuff, and during that time, he wasn't working, so then I was supporting him.
Yeah.
And now we've come to this like even ground. We're working together and supporting each other and our family. My sister, my brother-in-law, my little brother, everyone quit their jobs and they're all working on our team. So it really just is a family operation. We go to coffee shops every day. They help us edit. They help us like manage the house. They're watching our baby right now so we could do this.
My brother-in-law Christian mixes and masters all the music. He produces a lot of it. That whole carrot flute, he played that on the recorder. So yeah, we keep it all in the family.
Yeah, we all
is,
swap who supports who. And I'm like, one day there's going to be a point where we can all just support each other with this like big thing, but I don't know what it's going to be. I wasn't expecting it to be Connor rapping
hip-hop
at
music.
all.
We had a guy on the pod a long time ago. You might know him. His name's Mike Brown, and it's one of the earlier episodes. And I forgot what he was doing exactly. It was some like mineral
Oil,
exploration thing.
stuff.
So he would basically knock on people's houses and be like, "Hey, did you know there's like some minerals under the ground that you live in?" And if you sign this paper that says like, cool, you have the rights to like get those minerals out, dig those minerals out or whatever, mine them. You can get paid this amount of money today. Up front, you can get this amount of money today. And if he got like, if there was 100 houses, he needed all 100 to sign. And if he got that, then he can sell that bundle of letters saying, yep, you have the rights to a company that actually does the mining. And he was making millions of dollars doing this in Texas. And he was like, yeah, I was doing this. And I was like, that doesn't sound like it takes a lot of people. He's like, no, it was just me. And then he's like, I brought on my 2 brothers. And I was like, oh, what's that like working with family? Because like, you know, you hear different things. This was before I started a business with my wife. And I was like, you know, what's that like? And he's like, he just looked at me like I was stupid. And he was like, what do you mean? It's the best. And I go, oh, I mean, like, I guess you guys get along or works out. He's like, no, of course, you know, it's not all perfect. But he's like, my theory of life is you find the people that you love and then you do life with them. And that just like has been ringing in my ears for like 3 years now. It's like, find people you love and then do life with them. Find excuses to do things with them, whether it's work, vacation, or learning something together, or joining learning a sport together, or whatever it is. Would you say that's accurate for you guys, or do you guys have anything that maybe will ring in my ears for another 3 years about this?
I'd say it's accurate, but there definitely are like, we have to plan date nights or else we will never spend time together as a married couple. We turn into just business partners for a while and that's it. Or like, for example, we'll get in an argument as married couples do, but then we have a podcast interview the next morning or a video to shoot. So we have to put aside our pride of like who's right or wrong to make the work come first. Or my siblings, if they get in a fight, I just had this talk with them last week. I'm like, you guys are messing up my ecosystem. We have like a family ecosystem right now. If you fight with you, then now Connor can't mix his music with him. And then if so everyone just freaking get along. So sometimes I have to like be that person that's like, stop fighting because business comes
fucking
first.
Up the juju.
Yeah, literally. And then I'm like, there's a point where we're going to sell everything, make a ton of money, and then we can all live on a farm and fight all we want. But for now, freaking get along.
I can't find this client info.
Have you heard of HubSpot? HubSpot is a CRM platform, so it shares its application. Every team can stay aligned. No out-of-sync spreadsheets or dueling databases. HubSpot, grow better.
And you just did so like the way that this is transferring to like actual wealth and money and everything is the Spotify. You get paid off that. I don't know if you can get paid off TikTok or not, but you just did a tour as well. So you and Hoodie Allen did like I think, what did you say, 2 or 3 weeks?
It was 3 weeks in Europe. Yeah. I was opening for him.
I actually wrote down our revenue streams just because I didn't want to forget. I'd say the
By
top
all means, go for it.
Yeah.
It's like, Sam's going to ask about revenue streams. I better be prepped. Yeah. We have streaming as the number 1 by far. We have YouTube money. YouTube actually pays quite well. In regards to social media platforms, YouTube is like the platform.
Yeah, I'll just say this really quick because this is kind of cool. So I found out that I was pretty late to YouTube Shorts. I watched a Mr. Beast podcast where he was talking about, YouTube Shorts being the future, I was like, all right, let me just try this. And what I did was I took all my popular TikToks, and because I edit them, I have them all on my computer saved, and I just repurposed them on Shorts, and without the TikTok watermark or anything. I took the original, and just reposted.
And then YouTube emailed us, and they're like, "You were the most subscribed to artist in November."
Yeah,
of all artists
in the
YouTube.
month of November. Yeah, they said I was.
Did you just reply? Damn right. Send.
I said, is there like a plaque for that or something?
So I got 800,000 subscribers in 1 month just from posting every day for a full month all my popular videos, including the globe stuff.
I heard something funny, by the way. I don't know if this is true or not. It might be a conspiracy theory, but somebody was saying like, obviously this part was, I think, showed to be true, which is if you just re-upload your TikToks with the watermark, like Instagram and YouTube, I think we're deprioritizing it.
They don't like it.
But so the original file is good, but actually they also scrape the metadata, the name, the file name. I don't know if you guys is this true or are you guys aware of this? If you have the same like MP4 file name underneath, they also are trying to match that to just see like.
Oh shit, we should start changing our
somebody
file
told me
names.
that. I don't know if that's true or not.
It could be possible.
I don't know why they would care.
Like that globe video.
We didn't change anything.
Which is kind of weird that they both have exactly 72 million views on both platforms. And I posted them months apart because like I said, I was late to Shorts.
So now because of YouTube, that's an extra 5-figure passive income.
That's why I brought that up.
Which one grows faster, YouTube Shorts or TikTok? Which horse do you see winning?
Oof. It's tough because the TikTok algorithm changes so much, but I think Right now, we're more excited about YouTube because YouTube lets you pin a comment and a link to stream the song, but TikTok doesn't.
nice.
They removed the pinned comment feature, so it's harder to convert TikTok views to streams right now. I had a call with TikTok and I said, bring that back. So hopefully they bring it back.
And even more interestingly enough, on TikTok,
Can you be my manager too?
yeah, right.
This is amazing.
YouTube is much more creator friendly as far as, you know, when you want to promote something like that video, that First Globe video that I posted on YouTube, I was able to make the pinned comment the streaming link for the song.
Yeah.
And that comment has like 40,000 upvotes. And so it definitely allowed people to get to the streaming way easier than TikTok. TikTok at this point too, even if you try to write the word link in bio or even Spotify, they'll hide the comment. And we've tested this. I've written that. I've posted that comment under my own video, logged into a different account to go there, and the comment's gone. And so they don't want to encourage anybody off the app, obviously.
So
it's business, but
finish this out.
Yeah.
So it's Spotify, it's YouTube.
Then brand deals.
Okay.
Recently, like the last couple, you can negotiate like 6 figures, high 6 figures. Depending on the ask, I'm sure we could get even higher. But like in our current state, current followers, it's like 6-figure deals. Syncs, which is like getting your songs in commercials or TV,
video games,
all that stuff. Publishing. Can you explain publishing real quick in like 2 sentences?
Oh, it's hard to explain in 2 sentences, but yeah, pretty much like a song has 2 parts to it. There's like the master, which is also called the sound recording, which is what the
streams are.
Yeah, what the streaming royalties are. And then there's the publishing side, which is like the writers, the songwriters. And so the publishing, you get paid for like performance rights. So if it gets played on the radio, if someone wants to cover your song and use your lyrics. So it's sort of like a different part of the pie that.
So pub and then merch and then live shows. So those are like our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 streams of revenue. And people don't know this. Like,
Are you negotiating all this? I mean, that's very impressive if you're the one also doing the publishing stuff and commercials and things like that. I mean, that's
I
badass.
was up until like 3 months ago. For the syncs, I still am. Like if he needs to get his stuff in a TV show or movie or a game, I'm still doing that. But for brand deals, we brought on a brand agent team because I just don't have the bandwidth. I was like losing my mind. Because being a mom comes first. And if Jude is sick or having a tough day and things are due, I'm like, I need someone else to take this. So we do have a brand agent negotiating the brand deals, but everything else is us.
And so you have these revenue streams. Most of the time I've heard that touring is like number 1 for a lot of artists. You put it at the bottom.
We were just talking about this on a walk last night. I'm like, how are we going to talk about touring? Because it's just not, I don't like to speak confidently on anything we've never done ourselves.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're at like Drake, Taylor Swift level, blah, blah, you're bringing in hundreds and millions of dollars. But just for context, we opened on the European tour and I had a chart of the money. I'm pretty sure we just broke even on that one. Just because you have to like rent a bus, you have to pay a tour manager, you have to pay for everyone's travel, your DJ, merch, blah, 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 blah. Like
So
the list
how do
is
you
endless.
think about that? Because it's obviously a lot of effort. You got a little baby at home.
Yeah.
You probably reduce your output on TikTok because you're touring because it takes up so much time. You're breaking even, but there's the fan love and you're like, okay, this means something. And like, that matters. And you know, I think most artists just give you the politically correct, like, oh, I do everything for my fans and blah, blah, blah. But like, there's a reality. There's trade-offs to everything. Me and Sam experienced this in a super small level with the podcast where we did a couple live shows. They're fun, but they're a lot of work. You don't make any money off of it. And it's kind of like, well, that was just one episode. Like we could have just done so much more in that same amount of time. So we kind of, and we both Sam doesn't like to travel and I got little babies at home. So I'm not looking to travel either. So we kind of don't do it that much. How do you guys measure that? Think about that trade-off of like the live fan experience, which is creates super fans, but you lose all this other stuff.
We found a really good medium for this. We met in the middle. Connor's booking agent, I totally forgot to mention her earlier, which is ridiculous because she's iconic. Connor's booking agent, her name is Kara Lewis. She also reps like Eminem and a bunch of other really awesome artists. And I've talked to
Only
her
white
about
rappers she likes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Young Gravy. Who else?
No, she had Travis Scott at one point. She's got Ice Spice right now.
She's literally the best. There's an article about her, like, and it's called like the most terrifying woman in music. I'm like, I want that to be me. Like, that's me next. Anyways, so we've come to a conclusion with her that right now, while Jude is in these early stages of life, and we're really just trying to build, we'll do pop-up shows. So for example, we're doing a pop-up show in Chicago in November, and then we're going to do a pop-up show in Toronto, his hometown, a few days later. And then he'll accept like festivals, like like a month ago, he went to Calgary for a rodeo and he did a
Stampede.
festival where they offer you a certain amount of money and you play for 45 minutes. I'm like, easy.
Right.
He's gone for 2 nights. So we're going to do that and then just keep doing pop-up shows to have fan love and like connect with the audience, because it is really magical to hear people sing his songs back to him in person.
Yeah.
But the TikTok experience is good too, though, because the thing about digital stuff is, well, I see it, and even though I see 100,000 likes or tens of millions of views on it, I'm like, I don't know who else knows this. And then I saw the video of you in Europe, and you do really cool TikToks of you like before the show and then during the show, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a movement. You know, this is actually it's sort of like when Casper and all these companies, like when digital companies started advertising and buying billboards in the subways and shit like that, you're like, oh, it's actually adds value to see it in real life as opposed to just on my phone, even as a digital viewer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
That's a great comparison. Yeah.
Yeah. So for us right now, shows aren't like live shows. Like a festival is a money thing. It is a revenue stream because he gets paid for like 45 minutes. But the concept of touring for us, it wouldn't be lucrative enough at this stage for us to invest the time, energy, funds, blah, blah, blah into it. But when he does do shows, it's purely fans. I know a lot of artists will like charge for VIP meet and greets. I'm like, why am I charging a fan to say hi to you? They're the reason we have a career. No. Like he'll stand outside and talk to absolutely everybody there for free. He'll go to the merch tables, sign merch. The venues will try and even like fee us for that. They're like, if he's at the merch table, there's going to be a fee. I'm like, that's so silly. But anyways, when we do live shows, it's going to be completely just for the fans and not a revenue stream.
How big of a
at all.
venue can you sell out right now, you think?
We've honestly never tested that because we've never done a headlining solo show, but I'll get back to you in a few weeks when we
What's
when
your
we
guess? You can guess.
Our hope is somewhere between 900 and 1,000. Those are like the cap.
Oh, dude, you're
the
gonna
cap
crush
rooms we're
that.
looking at. Well, hey,
No,
you know,
'cause
it's
here's
like
the thing. So, I mean, technically, you could like, who knows? You could sell out a 5,000 venue. Like, you never know. But in the touring world, you have to like build a proof of purchase first. So, like, you can't just go from zero to booking a massive venue. You have to start at this venue, and then your booking agent can negotiate this venue, and then this, because you have to like show them, hey, he sold X many tickets here, so now your venue should take him, because you have to
Right.
negotiate with like the
promoters.
promoters and the club owners. And so it's hard to say. Like, touring's a tough topic because one, we're not versed in it enough. And two, it's too complicated of a business to be like, I can go from here to here. You have to build. It's not as much like TikTok where we can go viral overnight and your life changes.
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry if that's a lame answer, but it's just,
So Mike Posner went to my high school, my college when I was
Oh, wow.
there, and we were all like, this is a guy in the other building that's trying to become a rapper. Like, what is he talking about? And then he did. So that was kind of amazing. And one of the things he did when he kind of came back, so he like had his high, like the traditional way, and then he kind of hit a low where like he wasn't making hits anymore. Like his first album was like whatever big, and then like he kind of dipped a little bit. And then he like reinvented himself, and he's like, I'm going to walk across America. So he started doing things that I thought were interesting because they added new layers to him, new dimensions, new content, kind of like ideas. And he wasn't doing it for that reason, but it worked well also. And he would do these pop-up shows just in a park where he would just be like, I'm just going to start playing in this park and see what happens. But like it kind of didn't matter what happened live. Like some people got a magical experience that came or were there. Most people weren't there, but he's like, what does it matter if like, okay, let's say there's 50 people here that are having like a 100 out of 10 experience because like something over the top cool just happened. And okay, I don't have 900 other people here, but this video looks so interesting and it makes me more interesting than how a traditional artist does it. So the content would always pop off and his brand would be kind of like the people's champion in a way that he would just do these free shows in the park rather than like how, you know, an artist would
That's
traditionally do
awesome.
things. So I think, you know, there's something to flipping touring on its head and be like, I am going to do these fan things on my own terms, but I'm actually going to do them optimized for content and not filling venues because content's my game anyways. And if I just keep building that mountain, right? That's what Mr. Beast does. He's like, if I just
like
keep
that.
building
I
this
like that.
mountain on
always,
digital,
it like
that's what
everything
works.
in this business, it's like, what's your goal? Like, if your goal is to be a mega superstar and perform in arenas, then yeah, sign with a label and do those things and dedicate your life to building your touring resume so you can get there. But that's just not our goal, at least right now. So we're just focusing on making as much music as possible. Because I forgot who said it. I think it was this artist named Mike Stud. He compared songs to real estate. He's like, if you can buy a piece of real estate every 2 weeks, why wouldn't you? Some of them will remain shacks on the beach, but some of them will be mansions in Laguna. So
Right.
that's our mindset right now. I'm like, we're investing in as much real
Well,
estate.
what is your
songs.
goal? What's like do you guys have like do you want to do this for 30 years? Are you trying to just get super rich? I mean, what's like your
what do you write on the whiteboard or on the fridge?
Business. Like, he loves the art and we love to make good music, but ultimately the goal would be to scale this like we would scale a business, and then potentially sell the catalog someday, because it can be evaluated similar to a
what number excites you?
50 million
At what age?
3 or 4 years from now.
Okay, I'll be your advisor. No charge. Just add a 0 to that number.
Okay.
Because that, like, you guys, 50 is, you're already fingertips
All
away.
right, fine, Sean. How's 100 million?
No, add a 500 is the
500.
number.
Half a billion.
What did Bruce Springsteen get, dude? I think Bruce Springsteen got 300.
You know, I want to say something here that's a little bit, so I've definitely, this is probably the most I've ever, like, complimented any guest on this podcast before.
Oh
I'm
my God.
usually, even if I like him, I'm hard to get a little bit. Sam's usually just like, Sam usually fangirls pretty easily. He's like, so you're hot, and I just love people that are hot, and like, you're fit, so like, you're awesome. And I usually keep it, a little close to the vest, but you guys you're the creative version of hot, and I think that's amazing.
And you're hot. You guys are both hot.
Thank you.
Yeah, that too.
We'll take the physical as well.
The thing that I would say that's kind of an insult is when I watched you on YouTube, I didn't have the same fun as I did on TikTok. So like, I watched the full songs,
Mm.
and I was like, these are good songs, but I didn't like, I wasn't like hooked, and I wasn't I wasn't as like, I felt like the things you guys are doing on TikTok, I've kind of never really seen before. It felt so original, and it almost felt like a different thing than like music, which is like a thing I understand. And there's a bunch of like pre-established music options that I can go to. I'm curious, do you guys feel this, A, do you feel the same way? And B, like, is there any part of your ego that's like, no, I want to be a traditional, take me serious rapper, versus like, no, this kind of like these TikTok quick hooks, almost like half songs. That's my thing, and I'm actually creating a new lane over here. How do you think about it?
The goals are different on those platforms. On TikTok, our goal is to reach new listeners, and YouTube is more to nurture the listeners we already have, and to nurture the platform because it does pay well. So more views on YouTube is more money in our pocket from the AdSense and stuff like that. But yeah, with YouTube, we're not approaching those long form videos with the goal of reaching new people, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain. And then also sometimes if the videos are a bit more polished, like for example, he did a song with Baby No Money, and that was a very polished music video, but like that's like Baby's team.
Right.
They were like, all right, if we're gonna do a song with Connor's got to jump into our world and do a music video. I'm like, great, then you got to jump into our world and do a skit. So
Yeah, well, the thing about your skits is like, first of all, like I see a TikTok video, and then I listen to you guys when I work out. Like I associate it goes video first, then I listen to you while I'm
That's awesome.
exercising.
Great. That's our goal.
But when I see the video, like you have this amazing thing where you're clearly an actor. You have 3 characters. You have the producer, then you have you, the rapper, and then you've got your nerdy brother or cousin or whoever he's supposed to be.
Weird brother,
Like the guy who wears the turtleneck. And I get to know the characters, and you do such a good job. I was telling Sean, I was like, you forget that it's Connor. And
Yeah.
like you do, even obviously you don't dress up or anything, it's just the same person. You do such a good job that I'm getting to know the characters. It's very much
So
like
cute.
the Dr. Dolittle or whoever it was, Tyler Perry, where they played it's the same actor doing multiple characters, but you're not even dressed up. I get to know the characters, and I like see the weird brother come in, and I'm like, oh, he's about to do something funny. And I get to know the personality of the producer version of you. It's so good. You do such a good job of like adding characters that when I listen to the songs, I'm remembering that video, and that's what makes me like it.
Oh, that's
Whereas
awesome.
if it was just the songs, they are good, but the skits add so much meaning to it. I'm like, oh, this is the carrot one. You know what I mean?
that's so cool.
And the funny thing is,
so like
music, like if you listen to an album, they've always done these like skit type things in them. Like back when I used to have CDs, like Kanye's, College Dropout album, there would be these little skits, but they weren't that good, and like they weren't that funny. They were kind of long, and like, so that concept's been around. How did you guys come up with this idea to have these characters? How did you come up with the idea for the characters? Like what was the inspo behind
The
that?
characters was really just like, we don't have anyone else. Like we're really like,
Yeah,
we
it's
don't
true.
really hang out with many people. We couldn't think of anyone who could play these characters as well. So I'm like, Connor, just freaking put on glasses. and just be.
Yeah, it was
that
just, it really was just the most efficient way to do it. And I had control over the whole process because I film it all myself. I set up my
He'll
iPhone.
film them late at night when the baby. It's like, well, you can't coordinate that with other people. Like, hey, can you come over at 11 p.m. for a TikTok? Like, no one's gonna do that. So we just do
Well,
it
you
all
still do a good
ourselves.
job of getting, like, you have this other video. I forget. I don't even know who the rappers are. Like, eventually I figure out, oh, that's Hoodie Allen. But in the video, I'm just like, oh, the skit is like, it's a late night thing. The janitor has to fill in.
Yeah.
And I just know the actor as the janitor, not even the rapper. And then you see him rap it. And I mean, it's really good. This is like really
Thank
creative
you.
stuff.
We would love to. Our dream would be to like almost make not a parody, but of like The Office, but call it The Studio, where we can kind of extend these characters a bit
Right.
more and like go a bit deeper into them and maybe bring on a few new, like if we have a episode of The Studio where Connor's all these characters and then the guest is like Idris Elba comes in and he acts on it. And then we get Courtney Cox to come in on the next episode. And we use these connections Connor has from acting to now elevate his TikTok skits.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. And then I have another dream of like pitching Spin the Globe to Netflix. I'm like, how cool would that be if it's a 45-minute episode of Connor spinning the globe, lands on a country, but then he actually flies there and we meet the artists and we see their culture and we see the music scene there. Like, for example, Zambia, we have to go there because it would blow your mind. He couldn't send us his video because he only had 12 hours of electricity allotted like per day.
Wow.
And he said, until we get a heavy rain, the government will not increase our electricity. So I can't send you my video clips. So we were waiting to post this episode because you don't have electricity in Zambia to send these videos. So I'm like, I want to go there and see this and like bring awareness to it. And I think that'd be so cool because you have food shows on Netflix. You have like Zac Efron changing the world.
Everybody
like,
feeds Phil.
or somebody feed Phil. Yeah. I'm like,
sorry.
Connor should go there and do that, but for music. I think that'd be so sick.
Well, there's a few like paths here, I think, and there's a few examples. One example, which I'm not relating it as an insult, but Weird Al Yankovic.
Mm.
Like, I bet you, I don't know this for sure, but I would bet you that Weird Al probably out-earned most every artist from the 90s. I bet you he crushed it in terms of, obviously, it was in the CD era where it was $22 for a CD that costs 50 cents to make. But I bet you Weird Al crushed it. And then the other guy, and again, I'm not saying it's just because he's another white rapper, but Lil Dicky, you know, he's got that awesome show, Dave. He's done a really
amazing.
good job of parlaying this thing into more than just music and
You
rapping.
know what
And
I
it's-
wish Dave did though, which I was so disappointed in? The songs on the track were so good and he's just now releasing them. I'm like, those
Yeah.
songs should have been out because I would have
Moment the
streamed
episode
it.
dropped.
So
Yeah.
not only are you making money from your show, but you're also making money because your Spotify is about to go up. So that's another thing. If we were to do Spin the Globe, all the songs would be out. You watch the episode and then you can instantly stream it. Yeah.
That's another part of our rollout is we don't promote the song until it's out. Some people promote the song months in advance. They do pre-save campaigns,
Wait,
stuff like that.
what were you going to say about that, Sam?
Well, what I was going to say was Weird Al and Dave are like, I actually think Weird Al is even more talented than Dave, but they're both like this like cutesy type of thing. I actually don't view you that way. I view you as like significantly more serious. Like you're not like, I'm laughing with you, never at you. Whereas with Dave, it's usually at, you know what I mean? But he's still done a really good job of taking these over the top music videos and turning them into a thing. But I actually think that you have more potential than him for sure, because with you, you're relatable, but at the same time aspirational, and like you're still serious, but at the same time funny. I don't know. I
That's
think
such
that
a nice compliment, but it's so hard to respond to because that's just hard to respond to. I don't know how else to word it, but we love
guess-
Dave and he's Lil Dicky's so good. And
I just admire you guys. I think that you both have the it factor, and it's so evident. And I think the reason Sean said add a zero to it was because we don't know anything about music, but we've hung out with a whole bunch of rich people, a lot of billionaires and shit. And like, you see like some patterns in certain things, and it's like, oh, well, this is, like, we don't know how big this is going to be. It's already big, but it's going to be significantly larger than the way it is now if you have a little bit longer of a time horizon and you just keep like doing pretty good.
How long does it take you to create a video or a video with a song? So what is the creative timeline for one of these that you make? It could be like,
are we
I'm looking
talking
at
the
your
song's made or the song isn't made yet?
Yeah, I guess either way. Or like, for example, this the top video right now on your TikTok is this collab, the branded collab that you did.
Yes.
With Ruffles and KFC.
Yep.
So you did that. I assume you basically you made something specific for that. It wasn't something you already had made, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
So how
Yep.
long does a process like that take you when you're going to create something from scratch? Or is it just some days it's 1 day, some days it's 3 months? It's hard to say. Like, do you have a kind of a consistent formula for creation?
For songs, some days it can be 3 hours and some days it can be weeks because he's stuck on something.
Sure. Yeah.
But for videos, I'll script something in like 20, 30 minutes and then he'll film himself for a few hours and then he'll edit for a few hours.
Yeah. On average, I'm probably filming for 1 or 2 hours and then editing for 1 to 3 hours.
And do they all have to be full songs? Or do you just do like, I make, 3 verses and that's for this TikTok video, but I'm not turning it into a full song? Do you ever do that?
No, now we only will invest time in a TikTok if it can convert to streams, or else
Right.
that's just not lucrative for us. I have like brain fart. But yeah, for Ruffles, they only requested a 30-second demo. So for that one specifically, he only had to write 30 seconds of a song. Boom,
Right.
done, easy. But normally, it's a full song needs to be done, or we won't post it because TikTok doesn't pay you for views.
Yeah, but it does indirectly because let's say something goes viral. Now your fan base grows. The next video you put out with a song, it's gonna pay.
Oh, totally.
One thing
But if the song is out, we can show you the charts. It'll be like
Right,
it's so
right.
much different if the song's out. Yeah. But I
We-
hear what you're saying.
But like I admire people who kind of like there's a temptation anytime you're doing something new because new stuff is so unproven. There's a tendency and a temptation to like take the energy and the momentum from the new thing, but shift into the proven game. So, for example, I did a comparison once of Joe Rogan's podcast, which is like an interview, talk show type of thing, and I compared it to the top, like the Tonight Show. And I was like, okay, I forgot who was the host or which show I did, but like, let's say Jimmy Fallon was the host of the show. And it's basically like, if you just compare across every key metric, so it's like audience size, Joe's podcast blows away Jimmy Fallon, and actually has for years and years and years. Like once Joe got the Spotify deal, then it was like, it got kind of like legitimized. But way before that, Joe was making a ton of money and a huge audience, like 5 years before that. But people didn't think of it like a business because they just didn't have a headline of $100 million a year to Spotify to like latch onto. So audience size, Joe is bigger. Production, it's Joe's podcast. I think is Joe, Jamie, and like maybe one other person. So like 3 or 4 people total to pull off that show. The Tonight Show has like 50 people behind the scenes just to like run one show. Like episodes per year, he has like more output with fewer people, bigger reach. And the only thing that was missing was like, didn't have like a category that it fit into really. It was like, it's a podcast. Okay, podcast. Like, is that a business? I don't really know. Like, seems like there's a bunch of those. But Joe stuck with it. And like, he had a lot of offers to do other things, but he just stuck with it. Let it build. So that then by the time, it got really, really big, he could promote whether it's his own product, like On It, or some other, Athletic Greens or whatever, some product that pays him, and start making ludicrous money. And Mr. Beast kind of does the same thing where like he flirts with this idea of like, I could go create a Netflix show. But the reality is if you talk to him and you've seen him do what he's been doing over the last few years, it's just like build audience through this. Like what he's like, why would I leave YouTube? I can reach more people than the Super Bowl. And you're like, yeah, but it's different. But he's kind of not wrong. Like he is right. It seemed like this frivolous thing. And then now people see Mr. Beast as like kind of a business entrepreneur guy, but like it's because he committed to this new lane like many years ago. And I guess what I would say for you guys is it seems like you guys have a new lane of this kind of like it's almost like fast fashion, but for music, which is like these TikToks that are hooky and catchy and skit based, and like they can get millions of views and build you a huge fan base. I actually think if you just stay with that and you don't try to be a traditional musician, you're going to end up way bigger than all the traditional musicians. The problem is it's just like a little bit unproven where that goes exactly. Or like, and it's very tempting to like take offers from legitimate brands and legitimate like paths that you've heard of.
But the good news is you're making millions of dollars along the way. You're making millions now. So
Right.
at least you ain't broke.
And we've talked to every major label. It's not like our friend Nick said that he's like, we're independent by choice, not by default. Because you'll see in the comments like, why hasn't anyone signed this kid yet? Someone signed Connor. And I'm like, they've tried. We will not, because that's not our goal. Our goal is to like do this ourselves, do things the way we want to do it. And honestly, like prove to other people that you can do it. Because I had no idea that this was possible. And I'd love for other people that are making music to know it too.
How old are you guys?
I'm 29 and Connor's 28.
Wow. And early on, I remember you had this cool video with Courtney Cox, and then you had another one with what's his name?
Idris
or-
Idris.
Idris
yeah.
Elba.
yeah.
Yep.
Those are cool. Have you had any other like heroes or celebrities reach out that floored you?
There's one guy I really look up to. His name is Russ. He's a
I like
huge,
Russ.
yeah, he's a huge independent artist. He really kind of wrote the blueprint that I followed.
If you want to talk to someone about independent touring, it would be Russ, because I know Russ does it and he sells out massive. Like, if you want to talk about the financial part, the business part of touring, he'd be the one to talk to.
His song "Civil War" gets me pumped up.
Great song.
Yeah, he's amazing. But yeah, Russ reached out. And
Yeah, so
sent
he
love.
like DM'd and showed love, which is just really cool because he's sort of been my North Star as far as just like how to do this independently.
He wrote like unsolicited advice, stay independent, you'll be making M's like clockwork. And I'm like, that's all I needed to hear. Like, thanks, Russ.
So that was a really cool one for me. Yeah.
He only talks and raps too. That's amazing. His DMs are
Dude,
also raps.
it's so hard because the DMs are so like, Simu reached out.
Oh,
He's awesome.
Simu Leo, yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. I can't. I'm like, you know, when people ask you a question on the spot and you're like, name a song, and you're like, I don't know any songs.
Yeah, there'll be random things where like I'll notice on TikTok, like, oh, Logan Paul liked the video, or T-Pain liked the video. Like, there'll be little things like that.
That's cool.
But as far as like directly talking to someone, the big one that comes to mind is Russ, just because he's someone who I'm trying to emulate as far as the business goes.
I know you're in Vegas. Is it translating into off the screen stuff? Are you walking around downtown Vegas and people are coming up to you? Has that been happening a ton?
That's been the weirdest part, because like I said, we stay in our bubble and we hadn't been leaving the house much, especially during COVID. And then we went on a trip to Salt Lake City because we love Utah. It's so random, but we went there and it was a ton. And especially at the airport, like the TSA agents are always like, oh my God, wait. They'll like look at his ID and then be like, the music guy. They're like, we love your stuff. And I'm like, that's crazy. But the best is when little kids come up and they have their little, are you a YouTuber? And they're so cute. And it's like, hey, yeah, what's up? And we had like a 5-year-old super fan come to Calgary to meet him at the rodeo. And Connor took him to Tim Hortons for donuts. But yeah, that's really cool because you get to see it translate in real life. And especially when it's kids and you're like, oh, that could have been like a core memory for that kid. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
that
it's been
you
very
are
cool.
winning in one lane, what I found is that when people are let's say winning, and let's say that right now you're winning in like this content music game, you'll often see, it's like kind of like Neo in the Matrix. You sort of see the game a little differently. You sort of see opportunities that, like, oh, I feel like other people could be doing this in this other lane, or we could do this, but we think that would work, but we just have our hands full, so we're not going to do it. But like, have you seen any what I call adjacent opportunities for either content creators or on the business side? Like, have you've come from a business brain, right? So like, do you see other
Yeah.
opportunities?
I just had one
we
the
talk
other
about
day.
this all the
This
time.
guy, Kevin, he has this account on Instagram called Icon Brick, and he makes Lego animations. And I've seen a couple big rappers and labels hire him to make Lego animations for their songs. Long story short, he's an incredible songwriter. And I was telling him the other day, dude, put out your own music and use this platform you're building to promote your own music. Like, yeah, every like 10 to 12 videos you're doing like other rappers, but then slide
Right.
in one of your own videos in there with your song.
Wow, this is sick. I'm watching one of these videos now.
Oh, they're incredible. We're
Super
actually
talented.
releasing a song with him in a couple
Dude, he only
weeks.
has 127,000 followers. You're buying early on this guy. This
Yeah,
is great.
dude, he's insane. I'm like, that's a double revenue stream. You'll be making money from labels paying you to make Lego animations of their songs. Meanwhile, you'll be pocketing Spotify revenue for your own songs. So that's like a perfect example. That one happened recently, so I can think of it. I can't think of any others that are super recent.
What's crazy is with TikTok, like, it's just crazy how sound bites are becoming songs. So,
Mhm.
like there's that one on TikTok where it's that lady going, I want to thank my man. Thank you for my man.
Thank you,
know what
my
I'm talking
man.
about?
I saw that the other day.
It was just so she said that
It's
at
Lotto.
she just said that at a award show, and that turned into a clip. And then it was her saying it, and I don't know if she did it or someone else turned it into a thing. And then there's this other one where there's this guy, he's got a 30-second video where he talks about his boo thing, but it's literally a 30-second clip of him rapping, and I'm Googling for this guy, and it has 1 million likes on Instagram on Reels, and I'm Googling I'm like, I want to see the whole song. It's not even a song. There is no whole song. It is just like his 30-second clip. And it's pretty amazing how like things are happening with music where like it's just a clip of a thing. It's not even real.
Oh, I guess the best example of that is the Corn kid. Remember that kid that was like, I love corn, and it became this viral song on TikTok for like 6 months.
Yeah, it's amazing to start.
But that's actually something we've clocked and we've wanted to be careful of, because sometimes people have their song go viral, the sound, but people don't connect that sound to the artist.
Yeah.
So there were a couple like viral sounds. If you asked me who the artist was, I'd have no idea. So I was like, we need to be very cognizant of that and like make sure that we attach you to the songs as much as possible, which is why we're so like long form skit focused rather than like, let's make a sound pop off. Because it's great. It could be like a moment and a spike for a song, but long term, the goal is to attach Connor to his music more.
Do you, on your way up, like kind of like when you were moving boxes at the Alpha Paw warehouse and you're, you know, in between acting gigs, you're maybe trying to make it in the music game and it's not obvious. You're like, now you're winning and winning feels great, but you probably spent many years losing. This is how I felt in the world of entrepreneurship. From the ages of 21 to 29, I was only doing startups that failed. That's like, I don't know, 8 years straight of just getting my ass kicked.
Did you like dread going to family events? Because we dreaded it. Because it's just like hey, how are things going?
How's the little music thing?
Yeah.
No, people would be like, what's the new one? Because they're so used to me every year having a new story about the new thing that's going to be the big thing. And I was like, oh, damn, they're right. There is always a new one. Fuck. Like, I wish just one of these was the one. And, you know, like that was it. So was there any, I guess, like moments you remember from the kind of the bottoms that like, you know, either a decision you made, a talk you had with yourself, some advice you got that like sticks with you or helped you during that time?
It was Brie. It was like, you know, I don't have a bunch of friends, which that sounds strange. I'm a very social person and I get along with everybody, but my core circle is very small and I spend 90% of my time with Brie, whether that's us working together or we go on walks every night and we just talk about stuff. And yeah, there was definitely a period, especially when COVID hit and productions completely halted. So I had already a year before that been struggling to get acting work. And then now there weren't even auditions and I was definitely at a low point and was like, what do I do? And Brie was somebody who very early on I had shown my music to. And this was prior to me show. Like I used to just record at home by myself. I didn't show anybody. It was just a hobby I had because I loved hip hop, but I was afraid to put it out into the world because I was afraid of the judgment I would get.
He even had an alter ego called like, he's gonna kill me.
Yeah. No.
It's called Unidentified.
Yeah, Unidentified. I used like a fake name and I would used to upload music on YouTube anonymously just because I wanted to see what people would think about it.
And I was like, that's stupid.
Right. Without like attaching me to it. And I was afraid what my friends would think. Like, oh, of course, like the actor wants to be the rapper now. And I was like frozen with judgment fear. Yeah, exactly. And Brie has always from the very start just been such like my number one supporter and has given me the confidence. And so when I was in that low point and music was something that I was sort of playing with, she was like, go all in on this. Trust me, try it. Like try TikTok. Like what's the worst that's going to happen? Like nothing's going on anyways, you know? And so she was the one that instilled that confidence to like go for it.
And Ramon instilled that confidence in me because
I like that, yeah.
I got hired at the pet company as a social media assistant. And I met Ramon. And then after that, like a month later, he's like, yeah, no, you're my creative director, 100%. And anything I ever wanted to start, he's like, I'd be your first investor. I'd be your first investor. And he believed in Connor so much. So I was taking that confidence from Ramon, who was my mentor, and I instilled it in him. And
Ramon told me, he was like, I'm whatever they're doing, I'm in. And I'm like, you're an idiot, man. There's no money in music. Like, what's there to invest in? There's nothing to invest in. And he was like, I don't know, but whatever. There's something here. Well, I'm in.
You were homeschooled?
He was on board.
He told me?
I was homeschooled, yes, up until high school. I went to public high school, but prior to that, I was homeschooled, yeah.
And do you think that like, did that help you in any way in terms of
what?
like...
I think so, because when I was homeschooled, I used to like start businesses. I showed Ramon my business card. It was like Brianna Peterson. It was like violinist, pianist, vocalist, dog walker, pet sitter, babysitter, hire me for anything. Like I just had so much time on my hands. And also creatively, I would write children's stories. I have old videos from the apartment complex. I wanted to be a director. So I would go around filming all the kids, like documenting their lives. So being homeschooled gave me a lot of time on my hands. And I think it gave me like a need for creativity that most kids didn't have. Because when you're in school, you're constantly entertained by other kids. But I just had my siblings, and so I had to come up with ways to entertain ourselves. So we would remake Spy Kids. We would remake Disney movies. Like we would film them ourselves, edit them. Like, so all my family jokes. They're like, you've been doing this since you were like 4.
Yeah, you've always been making content.
Yeah. So no one's asked the homeschool question before. And I never really thought of it till now that I guess homeschooling really did correlate because it like forced me to be creative.
Well, we have like a large male. Most of our listeners are men. The takeaway here is like, get yourself a strong woman to be your partner here. I mean, like this is like this is a really great marriage. It seems like you got to get yourself a strong woman to help make this all happen.
I'm a huge fan of Alex and Layla Hormozi. I think that they're a superpower couple. You know what? They live in Vegas, I think. So I'm like going to try and run into them at Milk Bar one night because they never skip dessert, whatever they say. But they're a huge inspo for the husband and wife business relationship because there's really nothing cooler. Like we get to work together, be parents together, be married.
I think most people actually it's horrible. You guys make it work because you are both emotionally stable. You have similar values. It seems you have similar goals. I think in most cases it's not awesome. I think working with family in most cases is horrible.
Well, thank you. No, I mean, and we have our moments. I don't want to make it seem like it's always just so easy because like Bree had kind of alluded to earlier, it's really easy to fall into this like we work together, we're coworkers mentality when every so often it's important to remember that we are husband and wife and we need to find that balance. So
we're coworkers who kiss. What's the deal?
Hey,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. No big deal.
We all do it.
Yeah. Don't tell HR.
We'll leave it at this. Sam's about to be a dad. You guys recently had your first baby. Yeah. Any advice? By the way, Sam, have you heard their song about
their son?
There's a line in there. He's like, what is it? It's like, you got my eyes and I got your back. I was like, oh, that's sick.
Yes,
that's a good line, dude.
I remember watching that video and I was getting emotional. And that's why I was like, I think you're better than Weird Al and Dickie and all these people I mentioned before is because like I see your stuff and like they don't inspire me. I like them. You inspire me.
I won't take any more Lil Dicky slander on this podcast for the record. I feel like, I let the first one slide. The second one,
he's
I just
cool,
but
I see Cutter's stuff and I'm like, oh, like Lil Dicky is like, oh,
bro, you
like,
just haven't looked into it enough.
Dude, he's inspirational.
I'm staying out of this conversation. You guys can battle this.
I don't want to get any beefs here.
I love him, but he like his character of like this neurotic Jewish guy of like always complaining. Like I don't think I want to be you or like I want to learn from you in terms of the day-to-day life. It's more so your career is amazing and I respect it and I like your music. But with Connor, like when I saw that song, I'm like, dude, the values that you're talking about in the songs, like I'm on board with. Like I'm inspired to live a little bit better.
I love hearing this from Sam, and I know we have to wrap this up, but I'll just to jump on this point. So many artists have come to us and they're like, Connor needs more of a brand. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, he's too normal. Like he looks like every other guy on your street, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's why people really like him. Because
and you're way hotter than the average guy. Let's be real.
Sam, what's up with you and like hotness?
Oh, don't give me. Wait till you should show me your calves. If you got good calf muscles,
no,
freak out over that.
That's my one thing. Why'd you bring it up?
Why
did you bring it
show
up?
Show him your calves.
I'm not showing him my calves. Give me 6 months and I'll show him my calves.
They're just like straight
He's got a private
holes.
Instagram account for just calf work, and he's been
God.
Working on it for years.
Wait, no, Sam, I'll send
only
you a
calves,
picture
yeah.
after. They're not great. But we're working on them. We're working on the calves. But just that's really cool to hear because the realness has always been something that I've had a gut instinct to stick with. So it's cool to like hear that confirmation from you.
This is the first time that Sean has fangirled out a little bit.
That's so
normally
nice.
It's me.
Sean, it's so nice to finally meet you. And thank you for the support and for watching and listening. It genuinely means a lot.
Sean asked about baby advice.
Yeah, any dad advice?
The number one advice we have is like, and it's so cliche, but just be so present in those newborn days because they flew by. Genuinely, we look back at old photos, like a baby photo of Jude will make me just cry instantly because I'm like, I wasn't like, shoot.
Oh no.
I was like, I was so focused on business, like too much. So I wasn't like, I would like hold him and wait for him to nap just so I could go work more. But I wish at the time I was like enjoying it more. So that you don't end up crying on a podcast one day.
Here we are.
No, anytime we get crying, we know our views are going to go up.
So thank you.
And don't go on tour for 3.5 weeks because it was fun, but he missed a lot.
I think you're doing it right. I think even if maybe there were some moments where, I mean, where you maybe think you weren't present, I have a feeling just watching you on social media, I have a feeling you're doing things wonderfully. And the things you've said on the pod about the family business and everything, I think I think you're crushing it in life. In business, you're crushing it. In life, you're probably crushing it even harder.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So
Thank you.
And I know what you mean. I look at those photos and I literally don't even remember. I'm like, I don't remember her looking like this.
Right?
And it's like, obviously I remember when I see it, but I'm like, oh man, that just feels like two different times. And kids are this funny thing where like, for me at least, all day, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for you to go to sleep or just like get a moment of free time. And then as soon as we have free time, that's all me and my wife talk about. Is it's like, okay, wait, what do we want all this free time for? All we're gonna do is talk about the kids anyways. Like the funny things that they did today. So it's like, it's this cup that like, you know, you can never really fill up enough of, but at the same time, you're like, I don't know, there's like this weird dueling thing. I don't have like the words or the wisdom to like articulate it, but I definitely feel it where it's, you can never spend, it's like an infinite amount of time you could spend, but it's really not about the like, you know, the duration of the time. It's kind of like, did you kind of sink in and appreciate it versus just like being there? Because I've had many days where I spent hours and hours and hours, but I didn't really let it sink in. You know, I was just kind of passing the hours, which was a little bit different. So
Yeah, I
know
read
what you mean.
something once where it's like, as soon as your kid is annoying you, put your phone down. Because if you're present in the moment, that kid isn't annoying. But if you're trying to multitask,
You're trying to be somewhere
the
else.
whines and that's when it becomes annoying. So we've done a really good job at like, as soon as the babysitter leaves at 3, like we're just fully present. We're not. But when he was a newborn, we weren't doing that as much. So
you're gonna have more.
I don't know if I want to go through the whole pregnancy thing again. It was really tough on me, especially mentally after. I'm already a very anxious person. So I think having a newborn to care for while recovering from giving birth at home was pretty intense for me. I don't know if I would want to do it again, but we'll see. I know we want to adopt. I've been looking at adoption websites. I literally lay in bed and like cry looking at them because I just want to adopt all of them. But yeah, I think we got to see our son. We got to see what our DNA would look like combined. He's so funny. He's amazing. He's a
the
little
best.
Connor. But moving forward, I'm like, I don't know if I need that urge again. I think I would just like to adopt a little Vietnamese baby from where my grandma's from and honor her in that way.
You got to make sure they can rap too.
Yeah, if they can't rap, we're not. That'll be part of the application. I'm like, can
If
they
they
sing?
can't use 3-syllable words by 12 months, they're out. Yeah.
If they can't play 3 different characters in the skit, they didn't pass the test.
Yeah, no, we definitely want
looking
more.
for a versatile child to adopt.
Yeah, we need some headshots. Well, we appreciate you guys coming on. You're amazing.
Oh my God, we appreciate you guys having us.
Yeah, this is an honor. Thank you.
I feel inspired talking to you. I imagine Sean does too. And producer Jonathan was texting me and he goes, "I'm loving this. They're so damn likable." And I have a feeling.
Thank you, Jonathan. That was my biggest fear, not being likable, because I never really come on camera or do stuff like this. But I knew Sam, so I was like, okay, I know Sam. I want to do this, but normally I'm very fearful of criticism.
I've always been pushing. I think you need to start like your own personal brand. Like you're so knowledgeable in the music space that and you're always behind the scenes. No one knows who you are. No one knows how impactful you are in what I do. And I think you need to start putting yourself out there
That's
more.
very nice.
For sure.
Well, totally. I mean, if you look at their marriage didn't end well, so that's not the great example. But The Rock's wife, I forget her name. What is her name?
got a divorce.
Danielle.
They did, yeah.
That's so
But
sad.
they still work together. They have an interesting dynamic.
Oh,
Yeah, they still
cool.
work together, and she's known as being a pit bull. Like she is like feared in the industry. She's sharp, and I think she has more talent underneath her now. But that's like an interesting example, other than the divorce thing, of the business going well. Besides that,
We'll workshop our next analogy for you. We can go back to the lab on that one.
well, and people hate on Kris Jenner, but in my opinion,
I love Kris Jenner. I think
I'm
she's
like,
iconic.
I don't know, man. She seems like she still has a pretty healthy. Maybe I don't agree with all the tactics, but her kids
Totally.
and her have a great relationship, and it seems like it's worked really well, and everyone's provided for.
I was interviewing a nanny that nannied for them, and I was like, I'm probably not going to hire her, but I did like 5 interviews just to dig for information about what they're like.
Stop
and
it.
she was like, I think by the 3rd interview, she picked up that I only wanted to ask her questions about what it was like there. And I was like, yeah, I'm super curious. Can you just tell me some things? And she was like,
Stop.
not really. And I was like, okay, I respect you for that. That's fair.
We like the Kardashians. I once made Connor binge watch a whole season with me.
I didn't get
No,
the appeal at first, and then afterwards, I'm like, oh,
I get
they're
it.
all just killers. Like it's crazy.
They're all killers.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't have to agree with all the
Sure,
stuff they've
sure.
done to do famous, but they seem like they have a great
They're
relationship.
doing well. They have
Yeah,
great relationships.
yeah, they all stick together. The loyalty of that family seems strong.
Well, thank you all for doing this. This is awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Everybody go TikTok. Is that the first place you want people to follow you?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, just well, honestly, I think
Probably Instagram is safest.
I was going to say
'cause-
streaming services. Just like
Oh.
going to your favorite streaming service, type in my name,
All of it.
type in my name, Connor Price. You'll see all my songs there. Yeah. But yeah, TikTok, Instagram.
Oh, you know
YouTube.
what? Can I plug one thing?
Sure.
Any streamers or video gamers, video
yes,
creators
yes.
watching this, all of Connor's music is DMCA safe, so you
Oh,
can put
that's
it in
smart.
your videos without copyright strikes.
Have you?
Yeah, I created a playlist on Spotify under my channel that's called like DMCA safe copyright free, where it's all of my songs that are copyright free. Because I have a few songs that I did with other artists and they have their labels get involved, so you can't use them. But I have a list of all of the songs that you could use on your YouTube videos, your intros for your podcast, whatever you want, unlimited use. Because I don't do YouTube ID. I think the long-term value of having creators use your music is way more than like trying to get a few dollars every month because somebody used your song in a vlog. So yeah, if you're a creator and you are looking for copyright-free music, I have a bunch of that I want people to use.
And Bree, you're on Twitter, but you don't have any followers. Or you're like you're.
Oh, I don't
we have a
even.
big-
Do I have a Twitter? I don't even know.
Oh, I found it. I was gonna say you should promote that because I bet a lot of people are gonna want to DM you.
Oh,
But,
I signed up on Threads. I have Threads.
Okay, hit her up on Threads.
Uh-oh.
But Threads doesn't have DMs. You're going to get a lot of opportunities from this.
You just got the Brianna Price handle
Oh
on
yeah,
Instagram.
I got my Brianna Price handle on Instagram.
So yeah, just search her up on Instagram because you're
And then,
definitely active there.
Yeah, someday I want to, and I just got this Instagram handle I've been dying to get. It's called Home Studio because I want to start a newsletter for independent artists. And then
Oh, I
eventually,
saw your newsletter. It's really horribly named, by the way. You need to change that name.
no, I stopped that. The independent one,
Yes.
I stopped
Okay.
it.
Yeah, we
That's
did-
done.
we stopped.
That's done.
The idea was good.
Thank
The
you.
spelling was the
Thank
worst.
you. I know. I got it. That's done. Don't worry. So I'm switching. I want to do Home Studio because I want to build a newsletter for independent artists, and then also then turn that into a potential. We sell like home studio kits where everyone's like, "What mic do you use?" I'm like, "Just buy Connor's kit. It comes with a mic, headphone, interface,
Smart.
everything you can use to make money from home."
And I'll record all my
Um,
songs using that kit, so it sells itself.
Amazing. You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming on. I have a feeling that the next time you guys come on, you'll be 10 times bigger because you have the talent for it. And I think you've stumbled into something really, really amazing. And all right, I'm setting my timer. I'm going to give myself 31 minutes to give you 10 specific AI business ideas. You know, I'm doing this because I see a lot of stuff on YouTube that's like, hey, AI is the next big thing. And then they're like, you're like, okay, what? How? For me? What should I do with it? And there's no answers. Or AI is going to kill us all. You're like, really? Shit. How? And like, we don't know. So I just don't like the just general enthusiasm without the specifics. And so this is all about the specifics. And I think I'm well qualified to do this because my whole life I've been an entrepreneur. And I've been an idea guy. I ran an idea lab where I was basically funded to just come up with business ideas and then build them for 6 years. I then have a podcast now. This podcast is all about business ideas. I've also invested in the last year, maybe $2 million into AI companies. So I've about a dozen companies that I said yes to, plus probably another 100 or so that we passed on. So I've seen a bunch in this AI space. I know what the best entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley are doing. That's where I live. And so I wanted to share with you my list from number 10 to number 1, number 1 being the best, the biggest opportunity that I see in the space, that if I wasn't just chilling out, rich and happy and being a dad, I would go and jump in and do these right away. Instead, I'm going to invest from the side. I hope somebody takes an idea from this list and just goes and does it. But before I tell you the ideas, a quick little history lesson, a quick little trip down memory lane, a little I told you so. 3 years ago on this exact podcast, I did an episode called Is GPT the Next Big Thing? I think it was like episode 94. We're on like 500 now. And this was back in July of 2020. So it's like COVID had just hit. People are freaking out. But me and Sam got on the podcast and we said, is GPT-3 the next big thing? We had gotten access to this tool that there was no chat GPT at the time. You had to like get a favor from somebody to even be able to try it. And we used it to write rap lyrics, which of course being idiots that we are, we thought, oh, that's the best thing we can do with artificial intelligence. And so we thought it was amazing. We were like, wow, this is really good. And that episode, is GPT the next big thing? We were basically saying, yeah, it will be. Now that's 2020. Fast forward today, OpenAI is worth $90 billion. They're doing $1 billion a year. ChatGPT is the fastest growing product in history to hit 100 million users. So I'm not saying that we called it. I'm not saying that we're business geniuses. We kind of did, and we kind of are. So, if you had listened to me then, you probably could have made a bunch of money. Listen to me now, because for today, I'm going to share with you 10 specific AI business ideas, ranging from simple, doable things for somebody who's non-technical, all the way to like moonshot, really big ideas that I think are game-changing. And so I'm going to read you the list from number 10 to number 1. They include things from about, robotics and therapy and celebrities and education to porn to, I got everything. And the very last one, I think is the biggest idea that exists today. So I think it is the biggest opportunity that exists today for any entrepreneur. When you think about Mark Zuckerberg stumbling into sort of like the social networking craze, or, when Steve Jobs created the iPhone, that changed everything. There are these sort of change everything moments. And I was a kid when the internet came out. I'm 35 years old now. So I was, I remember being on the internet as like a 12 or 13-year-old, using whatever, very basic dial-up connections and BBS forums and stuff like that. But it was clear to me that the internet was a thing. It's just I was a kid, so I didn't think about how I could I just wanted to use it. I didn't think about, I wasn't an entrepreneur. I was a teenager, right? I couldn't even spell entrepreneur. Still can't. But then when I graduated from college, I graduated in 2010. The iPhone had come out the year before. I think the App Store had come out. But I didn't have the light bulb on. I didn't really understand that there are few times. I think, what's that Warren Buffett quote? He's like, something like, there are moments every once in a while where the skies get cloudy and it begins to rain opportunity. And when it does, let us not run out with spoons, but with bathtubs to catch the opportunity. So I didn't really realize when mobile was the big opportunity. It was right in front of my nose, right? Like, we were working on things, and we had a mobile developer, one guy, and we would try to make a mobile version of our website. But we didn't realize, mobile's changing everything. And all of a sudden, this thing's got a GPS. That means now Uber is possible. Google Maps is possible. This has a camera. So that means that Snapchat and Instagram are now possible. I'm carrying this with me everywhere. So all of a sudden, WhatsApp is possible. This thing has an accelerometer inside. That means that MyFitnessPal is possible, right? So the technology unlocks the opportunity. So now to my specific list of 10 ideas that I think anybody could do. And by the way, here's my disclaimer. These specific ideas don't matter. I know I'm hyping them up a little bit, but it's not the ideas that matter. Naval has this great quote where he says, you don't read books for the information. You read books because books spark ideas in your head, right? Reading a great book is like, lighting a match or starting a bonfire in your brain. And so that's my goal. I want to start a little bonfire in your brain. I want these ideas to help you get to the real ideas. I don't think that these are necessarily going to be the ones, but I hope that they really stimulate you to think. Okay, so let's jump in. Number 10, eliminate the wait. Okay, so we think of the internet as this fast place, a place where you can just click and you instantly get what you want. But that's true. Like the internet, if you just compare normal business, I used to have to go to my car, drive to a store, park, get out, walk in if I wanted to buy something. And now the internet, I don't have to do any of that shit. I just website, click, boom, it'll be here in 2 days, right? That's kind of amazing. So the internet has killed waiting in a bunch of different ways, and that's generated billions and billions and billions of dollars of value. But all waiting is not gone. There's still some waiting left. I want to tell you about it. So like, for example, this is one of my companies is called Shepherd, right? I'm a minority owner of Shepherd. I bought a minority stake earlier this year. They do a very simple thing. So they find you employees overseas that will cost you 80% less than if you're hiring in the US. They're like recruiters that will find the best talent in the Philippines or LATAM that just solves whatever problem you have. Okay, great. So now when somebody comes to this website, and this business works, right? It makes millions of dollars a year, but it also loses, I believe, millions of dollars a year because of one very simple problem, which is that when you click start hiring here, it's going to tell you to book a call. It says, great, tell us some information. And then once you fill this in, you fill in a small form. As soon as you do that, then it's going to tell you to book a call. And that book of calls might be 2 days from now, 3 days from now, 4 days from now. By then you're cooled off, right? Like you've lost. Any salesperson knows that like you need to strike while the iron's hot. You're going to have the highest conversion rate in that moment. So let me show you what an AI company is doing that I think is very smart. This is called some company called Same Day. I'm not involved in this at all. I just think it's a very cool idea. So they're like, hey, what if we just had a phone agent, an AI phone agent that could just reply to anybody who calls you right away? So listen to this.
How can I help you today?
Yeah, I got a call from my wife a minute ago. She said there's a bunch of ants coming through our kitchen window. How soon can you guys come out?
That's the worst. Luckily, I can probably have someone out as soon as tomorrow to take care of those ants. Can I get your address to confirm?
Yeah, it's... but can you transfer me to a person?
Yeah, I can transfer you to a person. But you'll be on hold for about 9 minutes. Now, I can answer any questions and get you scheduled in under 2. How does that sound, Aaron?
That sounds good, but what's it going to cost?
Oh, of course. I just need to know.
All right, you get the idea. I think it's funny they made him have a accent. But, instead of I'm interested and then 3-day gap, now we get on a Zoom call and you're trying to remember the context and then we fumble and bumble. How about right when I say I'm interested, a AI sales agent is going to call me, or create a voice call right here on the browser, and ask the questions that it needs to do to qualify me as a potential customer, as well as answer the questions that you have, and even give you a sales pitch, right? And you might look at that and be like, oh, it's a little slow the way it talks, or it's not as good as a human. And I would tell you 2 things. Number one, that the conversion rate in the moment versus the drop off of people not bouncing because they don't want to book a call, or not showing up to the call. Like the show up rate might be 65% to a call. You get these huge drop offs for every step of every additional step in the funnel. So you want to just remove steps in any funnel. So I believe that an AI sales agent will be higher converting than doing it the sort of slower human way. And the second thing is, this is V1. Imagine, like you remember the V1 of anything, the brick cell phones, or even V1 of the iPhone compared to what we have now on iPhone 15. Like, just wait 2 years. This is going to be incredible. And it's already good enough to make up for the fact that, you know how many businesses don't even have a phone number or don't answer the phone when you call them? Like every pest control service or lawn care service or self-storage facility or whatever, you name it. You can go and become the AI phone sales guy for every business on the internet. I think that's one opportunity that's there for the taking. Is forget this whole idea of, call me, I'll call you back, or book a call in a few days and we'll talk. It's no, it's going to be, we'll talk right now with my highly trained sales agent who always sticks to the script, is always polite, never gets frustrated, never gets sick, never takes a day off. That's what's going to happen here. That's where this is going. Okay, idea number 9, therapy for everybody. So therapy used to be pretty taboo, and every year it's becoming less and less so. Every year, more and more people are going to therapy, and there are multiple billion-dollar therapy startups that just connect you with a therapist. However, that's still only a fraction of the opportunity. How do you make this 100 times more accessible, right? Like, I think most people could probably benefit from having somebody to talk to, having somebody who's there for them, supportive, asks good questions, gives good advice. That seems like something that's going to help every couple, every individual person, every executive, etc. And the biggest barrier to this is cost and sort of like the friction or privacy that's involved. It's almost like, remember how Hims came out and they were like, you know what? Erectile dysfunction is a big deal. It's a big problem, but people don't want to go to the doctor, admit this to another person, and then have to go to a pharmacy and say, hey, can I get my pills, please? Instead, what if it was, you could just telemedicine, you could just get diagnosed online, get the prescription really quickly from the comfort of your own home without going anywhere. And then we'll deliver it to your doorstep in very discreet packaging, and there you go. And Hims and Rode did this and built billion-dollar companies just on that one way of increasing access. Well, I think for therapy, you got to do 2. I think you got to decrease the cost and increase the privacy. So, solution, put an AI therapist in everyone's pocket. You train it on
100 million hours of therapy, transcripts and conversations that exist or could exist. And you provide this service to everybody, even people who can't afford a $100 an hour therapist or $200 an hour therapist. You drop the cost of that by 100x. So how do I get this for $10 a month or $5 a month? That's the big opportunity. And how do I, in doing so, you would 100x the number of people that get this benefit, right? It's a win-win. And, I don't know the exact specifics. Like, you may need, it's going to take some time to train this to be good. There may be some things like, the difference between creating drugs or a supplement. Like you have to do like either clinical trials and get FDA approval, or you just create a vitamin and you can like sell that online tomorrow. It might have to be framed less medically and more like a life coach. I'm not sure, but the idea of providing therapy for everybody is a big idea. Number 8, robots that automate warehousing. So I, for my e-commerce business, was running a warehouse for, a year and a half. We had 10,000 or 15,000 square foot facility here in California, and we had 10, 20 people there. Absolute pain in the ass for everybody. Nobody liked it. They didn't like working there. We didn't like having people there. We didn't like running the thing. It was slow. It was expensive. It was bad in like pretty much every single way. And then you look at Amazon, and Amazon has invested billions of dollars. I've read anything from $10 billion all the way up to 100 as an estimate of how much they've invested in R&D around their warehouse automation. Back in the mid 2000s, they bought a company for almost $1 billion, Kiva Systems. And those are those little sleds. You can see these insane videos online. The sled basically like goes into the warehouse, finds the set of boxes that somebody ordered something from, picks it up, drives back. And these are all like, there's hundreds of these going at once, and they're all like part of one big brain. So they know how to never bump into each other. And so they drive all the way up to a human who's sitting in a chair who just pulls the item out of the box, puts it in the package. And that's, what the Amazon product is. And this is a perfect example of my export framework. So my export business framework is basically, it's a way to generate business ideas, which is you look at any big company and you see what did they spend millions of dollars building a homebrew solution for, something that works for them and made their life better. And then can you export that idea as a product that any company could use without having to spend the money on the R&D? Tons of examples of this. Simple one, LaunchDarkly. $1 billion company now. They were working at Facebook. Facebook had a feature that they had built a product they had built internally, spent a bunch of engineering resources building, which was a way to launch new features under feature flags, meaning you launch a feature, it's in the app, but you can turn it on for 5% of the population. If it's bug-free, then you can turn it on for 25% of the population. Or if it starts to have a bug, you can turn it off quickly remotely from your server. So the idea of feature flags, they productized it, took it out there and said, hey, the thing that Facebook uses for their app, you should use in your app. And of course, it works. So I think somebody's going to do that here with Amazon's warehouse technology. I'll just give you a crazy stat. This stat is the business plan for this business, right? I talk about this idea of one chart businesses, one stat businesses. It's a single stat that basically encapsulates the entire opportunity, which is that today, 2% of all warehouses use robotics, right? So 2% of all fulfillment warehouses are using robots today. That number's going very close to 100%. And so just the shift from what's going to take it from 2% to 100%, you could just sit down and brainstorm. What is that going to take? Is it new robotics technology? Is it better sales, better sales and development process? Is it consulting practice? What are the different ways you could take that number from 2 to 100? I think that's just one big opportunity. All right, number 7. Similar to what I just said, consulting, McKinsey for AI. So technologies come, but they don't, it's not evenly distributed. It doesn't just get everywhere all at once, right? There's still like, 4 million people with dial-up internet using AOL to get online right now in the United States. And so it takes time for these technologies to sort of propagate through the community, through the population. And so AI does all this amazing stuff. It can help businesses become more efficient, more smart, more intelligent, serve their customers better. But it's not just going to like appear overnight in every company at all. No way. And so I think somebody can build a killer combo of conferences, content, and consulting, the 3 C's, package those together and build something. So here's what I would do. If I'm working at McKinsey, right? I'm one of these, fancy pants, smart people who gets a job at McKinsey, and you have 2 choices. You're either going to grind the McKinsey ladder for like the next, 5 to 10 years, with the end goal of maybe becoming a partner someday and making $1 million a year. Or door number 2, quit your job tomorrow and launch a AI specific consulting practice that is going to identify one type of customer. Maybe it's mid-market industrial companies, or it's law firms, or dental practices, or whatever.
With Nurtec ODT, I can treat and prevent my migraine attacks all in one. Don't take it allergic to Nurtec. Allergic reactions can occur weeks after using. Most common side effects were nausea, indigestion, and stomach pain. Talk to your doctor about Nurtec today.
He's supposed to be good at jujitsu. What happened, bro? Stuff the takedown. Tried that. Tried to do a guillotine. I'm sorry, I missed that hammer fist. Ooh, that would have been good, but dang, I'm sorry I ended that way up. Dylan Danis truly is a coward, just a dirty, dirty human being. But regardless, thank you for coming out tonight. Goddamn, Manchester. It's so beautiful seeing y'all here. I want to give a shout out to my team, my family, everyone who helped me, man. This camp was so hard. Dealing with a guy like that was not easy. He is a true demon, a true coward. I want to give a thanks to the most important woman in my life. Thanks to my mother, of course. My beautiful fiance. Whoever she is, baby, I love you so much from my heart and soul. I can't wait to start a family with you. Let's do some of my life with you. And let's just ready to go do some shit. KSI, I don't want to put that out there, but are you interested in perhaps fighting him if he wins tonight? Regardless of what happens, there's fucking two of me. And I got someone with Tommy Fury's number right next to me. You can run, but you can't hide, big boy. Sign the contract. Jake, what do you think of your brother's performance? Easy work. These MMA fighters can't keep up with us. We're boxers. We do this shit. For real. He didn't even get hit with a punch. Embarrassing ass performance by Dylan. I was just gonna say, the only person that actually fought here was his microphones. Look at this shit. This shit cut me. He got a good throw with that mic yesterday. All right, so I'll take the microphone away for now. Congratulations to Logan. Welcome back. Leaving me hanging here. It's cold out here. Congrats, Jake. Congrats to the family. A big night for Team Hall once again.
stays across the USA.
Vacation ideas? A ski resort.
Shopify Point of Sale makes it easy to start and grow your retail business. All backed by the world's most powerful commerce.
Survival. You will bring me good news, babe. What's right? What's good? Looking for something to do, learn chess, easy to learn, hard to master. Any key, already know chess, bro. Appreciate the follow, though. Already know chess. So if you know how to play, like, we can definitely run it. I've known chess since I was like fucking in 6th grade, man. You know a good website to play it on? Your primitive Dewsbury. Says chess.com, lol. Do you got an account on chess.com? Any key? Let me follow you back also if I haven't already. You got an account on there? I'm alone, I'm alone. Who is online today? Who is online today? Who is online today? Who is online? Who is online today? Flow, 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 flow. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Fuck everybody. I'ma get it on my own. God damn. God damn.
Finding secret.
Got more of a bounce to it if I play the drum.
$3.59. $3.59. $3.58. $3.57. $3.56. $3.56. $3.56. $3.56. $3.55. $3.54. $3.52. $3.51. $50. $3.50. Posted. $3.50. $3.50. Repeat last 9 days. $3.50. Why you think Twitch sucked? Oh, that was an earlier message. Okay, there's 350 videos posted and okay. Music.
Poolside convo, a bunch of summer last night. Ooh, yeah.
at, dog? Bitches didn't eat. Where your ass at, dog? Niggas try to run off. Where your ass at, dog? Made me put his gun out. Where your ass at, dog? You went to switch sides. Where your ass at, dog? Niggas red lies. Where your ass was at, dog? About to come slide. Where your ass was at, dog? Now I'm certified. Where your ass was at, dog? When niggas want to feed. Where your ass was at, dog? Bitches didn't eat. Where your ass was at, dog? Niggas try to run off. Where your ass at, dog? Made me put his gun out. Where your ass was at, dog? When I was in the Pyrex. Where your ass was at, dog? When I was drinking hot sex. Where your ass was at, dog? Came to the project. Where your ass at? When a man
Top Shelf serves this type of drink. And of course, bars drink. Who to go? Who to go? Who to go? Top Shelf Rap and R&B for all things drink. Tap now to listen.
Okay. Everybody put their Glocks in there for me. Let's that shit up. She got a stick. Where your ass was at, dog, when niggas want some shit in there for me. I'm looking for that nigga Troy Ave. That's right. And when you catch that nigga, you have when a mass out, when a man just straight. We bro hopped out tripping with that switchy, he didn't face me. They shot, they couldn't save me. We the ones getting busy up in the city, that's on my baby. They look like a drive-through extra, so much we slide through. Ain't beefing with you, they family. Get caught, then you gon' die too. Hold on. Stop the whip, let me out this chopstick, gon' leave him open like a zip. Tip him up, tell Buddy no mask to come and pick him up. Niggas fake, acting like they thug like till we hit him up. A lot of niggas don't like what? I ain't even did shit. Make his bitch take dick to the head. I ain't even hit yet. Why you mad she choosing me? I like what she do to me. She say she feel safe over here. This where the shooters be. She say ain't no paper over there. Shit, she barely eating. Barely feed herself. She told me help. This nigga barely feed me.
How you mad she choosing me? You would die if you know what she was doing to me. We been swiping spit for a little while. This shit
shit ain't new to me. Acting like I'm chasing her or something, she be pursuing me. Can't hold her, she be telling me all the time she wish that you was me. I ain't with that messy shit, I barely attest a bitch. I can't even brag about these thoughts, that shit be effortless. Red and white Ferrari, I come through fresh as a peppermint. Ain't caught up in that other shit, they tripping on black excellent. Hold on, chick. 750 for a show, I gotta go, can't miss this chick. Travel all around the globe, know what I want with no regrets. She feel safe with us whenever she with gang and make her wet. Yeah.
We don't do the social tweet. These niggas too internet. Going live trying to talk about who got shot. We don't get into that. You leave it up in the streets for me. I ain't trying to go to jail. Keep mentioning my name in all of your posts. It ain't hard to tell. If you get smoked, they gonna come looking for me. Nigga, you dumb as hell. This bitch think I love her. Ooh, she must be drunk as hell. I can't let no suck, bitch. I love how they suck dick. Once I get my nut off, I'm skating like some Chuck Fit.
I need to get contacts.
She want me to see the day, but I ain't got a cake. She wanna see me every day, she wanna be my baby. That money make me call and make me fornicate. All this shit, I need some toilet paper. But follow my favorite rules and we gon' be okay. On the real, I need a bitch who gon' cooperate. I know that they don't like to see you win. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you live in. My mama told me what make a decision. Right now I gotta keep a ton of vision. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you live in. The cool that they don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you live in. My mama told me what make a decision. Right now I gotta keep a ton of vision. They sending all my homies on a mission. And I ain't tryna miss out on these millions. I told you niggas I won't be that fucking nigga. Everything be good until you doing better than them. They wanna see a nigga shot and see me in the system. All you niggas out here poison like snake venom. Codeine in my liver, rockin' Balenciaga denim. I'm booted even when I'm sober, I don't need a jibber. They sending all my niggas on a fucking joint. I told that baby to come over cause I'm fucking horny. My mama told me keep these niggas, son, keep it going. I'm thug to the bone, but I'm still her baby boy. Look who that boy, they hate to see you in the front. That bitch when you was in that Yoda kicking doors. Look who that they don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. I don't wanna be the one you live in. My mama told me what make a decision. Right now I gotta keep a ton of vision. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. But I don't wanna be the one you live in. Look who that they don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. attention. I need me a little baby who won't listen, but I don't wanna be the one you begging. My mama told me, boy, make a decision. Right now I gotta keep a ton of vision. They sending all my homies on a mission, and I ain't tryna miss out on these billions.
Is this the world's busiest grocery store? Why does it feel like I'm walking a literal marathon to find pickles? Why is everything so expensive? Where the hell are the pickles? Wait, do I have a coupon for pickles? Was it a physical coupon or was it on the app? Why is my bill so high? Why didn't I go to Aldi?
At Aldi, we don't waste your time. We don't waste your money. We don't skip on quality, and we don't add to the chaos of grocery shopping. Everything we don't do is for you.
It's an Aldi thing.
Came from the bottom, down below. Feeling them cold night, I'm sleeping on the floor. All you dream about a 40 feet, now they down below. The nigga got so much money on me, can't count no more. Remember I was in the project wall, couldn't even get along. Now they niggas got their hands out, if I ain't give it, I be wrong. Remember I was in the county jail, none of these bitches wasn't picking up the phone. Now they making my line, I ain't got time no more. A nigga started from the bottom, now I'm living. Early morning over women in the kitchen. Some people said I couldn't do it and I did it. Look at my bank account, I'm running up the digits. I ain't in all that doing the facade shit. I walk it, I talk it, I live it. I'm to the birdhouse, looking through the garage. Billy Coop got a couple bitches. I was down on my ass. Had to go into the rest. First give it 10 racks, so you ain't gotta stress. You didn't even know where to see you. Nigga about to pull up in the 911. Just to feed my dog. I told God it's blessed. Down below, feeling them cold night. I was sleeping on the floor. All you dream about a 40 feet, now they down below. The nigga got so much money on me, I can't count no more. Down below, 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 down below. Riding great shit, I never took the safe route. Nigga came from the bottom, I had to make it out. I was trapping in the box, I had to break out. From my soul when the feds kicked out a bigger house. I trapped on the corner, they had to stink out. Seen a dope boy pulling that red out. Had to get him out of the hood to the lake house. The head chef about to bring my steak out. I wanted to leave him. Sweeping them beats. They think I nigga Rondo. Cause I always kept a need.
Fuck y'all niggas.
Better than I feed him. We trick the Cali. White bitch Vaseline. And then the nigga gotta leave. I just wanna shine like a real food dog. Cause the nigga been down so long. Nobody see her vision, dog. Got it all on home. Living them nights, I'm trapping all night long. Now I keep a shit on the right.
How powerful are new Power Scratch Offs? More powerful than this hair metal band's signature scream. Power Scratch Offs are packed with prizes and have power spots for more cash wins. With Power Scratch Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning rate from 1 in 3.23 to 4 by 7. Call Gambling Helpline 877-718-5 In a world that's constantly changing, you have to move forward to change with it. At Trinity University, we see you striving to work harder and to go further. That's why we provide you the tools you need to get there. They offer a private laptop, bachelor's program, taking your coursework anytime, anywhere. Because our mission is how we feel about yours. So you can always keep striving. This is very life. Eligibility, those restrictions, and exclusions apply. And that's what he does.
Way over, now she going, know that bitch going. I purchased Aviani, now she lit, huh? With the band rings on me lit, huh? Married to the game on the shit, huh? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bitch, we made it. We ain't pulling up at cribs that we can't get. You can't pull a bitch on Instagram, I ain't hit. And this shit tell lies about me cause she ain't shit. She want a big dog status. I was in the alley with the nickel bag tally. Now I'm Taliban gang status that was at it. And you niggas can't get close if you don't know me. It ain't no more dipping, hanging low key. These bitches see me and they panic. I can't believe it, I was on the corner gambling.
This is dumb. This is so dumb.